As we are talking about ascension, right now we are in a myriad of timelines and dimensions. We are kind of fluctuating between timelines and dimensions literally daily. And we have that choice on earth right now because everything is chaotic and this is happening. Like there is a lot of things coming to surface, and it is very easy for us to kind of go into lower timelines. Of course, with awareness we can also go into higher timelines. So what is the mechanics, or how do you suggest that from records perspective we choose the higher timelines and higher dimensions? How do we work towards that?
What I want you to recognize is that you as the human will always stay on the timeline that is meant for you. So what we want you to recognize is that when your mind sheds or let go of what is failing or ailing you, you'll begin to recognize that your energetic vibration begins to shift to a higher dimension of consciousness. And this is the timeline that humans are moving into. So what we want you to recognize is that the choices and decisions that a human makes can be multidimensional. But what we want you to understand is that it's more significant for the human to allow the heavy dense energies to be released so that their energetic frequency rises or raises to match the specific timeline that they are meant to be in. They're saying, but what we want you to recognize, I'm seeing a staircase, that each letting go, each choice and decision allows the human to walk up the staircase one step at a time, one rung at a time, so that they can find, adjust, and become what is needed for them to be at their highest frequency. Does that answer your question?
Yes. So
Okay.
essentially you're saying that when we let go of the lower vibrational, uh, whether it's people, situations, and things, and then we can move in a step by step manner to the higher timeline and the higher
Yeah,
dimension.
absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and and it's a process. It's not like I just wake up today and it's like, oh, I'm going to just throw away all of this energy that I don't want anymore. And so that's kind of why it's hard for people to really understand that we are shifting and changing, because it seems like it's going so slow. But if we look back at, holy cow, how much I've changed in the last 6 months. I mean, especially today. My gosh, we're like on fast forward right now. Things are moving so quickly. But the thing about it is that when I let go of an old energy, let's just look at it as a belief system. And like what we talked about, the role that I'm supposed to play as a woman, societal belief system. Okay, so I've had this belief system that I'm supposed to play this specific role as a female, be subservient to my husband. Okay, so this goes back generations and generations and generations. Okay, so I'm just a product of generational beliefs being embedded in me. Okay, so you can understand that a belief system like that is deeply embedded, and how I'm seeing it now is like a root system that is going down to like the core of the earth. It's not just a surface root, it's deep. So when we really work on letting that go, and I could say it's pulling the weed out and pulling the roots with it, that's a lot of deep work. But there's a big energetic void that happens when you remove this energy pattern. And so we have to get used to retraining our brain and retraining our physical bodies to be able to accept this new light energy that's replacing that old heavy energy that was removed. And then we have to reprogram our mind to be more in alignment with this new way of being. Okay, so this is why these things have to happen in increments. Because if the universe said, okay, I'm ready for you to shift and change, I'm just going to pull out all this old stuff. And then you have all of this old energy removed, and you have this just a hollow shell. And then all of a sudden, this new energy starts moving in, and your mind is just like, I don't have anything to grasp onto anymore. I don't know how to function. And then we'll start losing our minds. And that's why you have to be careful about doing this type of work, this energy work, and this work of leaving, letting this stuff go. Because if somebody comes in and they remove too much at one time and you're not physically, mentally ready for that, then you're going to go off the deep end and you'll literally feel lost and not know what direction to go and lose your mind, basically. And that may be a little bit of an exaggeration, but people that have done this understand you have to readjust to this new way of being, and the universe knows exactly where we are, each one of us is in this process, and they'll guide us, and they take us through these steps. So I've been working on this stuff for 30 years, since 1996. Been working on, let's clear out this old stuff. And I look back and I can see how every single step brought me to where I am today. And I still have stuff I was having a conversation with somebody the other day, and they talked about, could I be funny? And immediately it took me back to my childhood and my mother telling me not to speak, or I'm saying the wrong thing, and me afraid to speak. Well, that's for 30 years, and that's just now coming up. What? But it was huge. It was a deep one. But that was one of those deep, deep core things too. But what my point is that we have to go in these increments. And it seems like we're moving so slowly when we think that it should be done just like that. But if you really start looking back, I've changed so much over the last 30 years. I have so much more knowledge and wisdom and so much more free than I've ever been today, than looking back. And I can see how I've shifted and changed my perspectives and understand the universe and develop that relationship with my soul and the divine. And we have to do these things in increments so we can get used to and adjust. But we grow more than what we realize.
Yeah, so true. And what you're saying is absolutely, I can resonate with it so much. Yesterday, I was meditating and I got some childhood pattern where I did not set boundaries. And I was like, okay, this is coming now after so much of work. So it's constant work that we constantly realize that the deeper we go, the more patterns we uncover.